The first time Luca Conti really saw the maid, she was smiling at another man. He had just pushed open the door to his office, the familiar click of the handle echoing in the hallway. When the scene in front of him froze him for a second he would never admit out loud. Ryan Blake, his capo, was standing just inside the room, relaxed, hands in his pockets, that easy grin on his face. In front of him stood the new maid, holding a silver tray with a coffee set. Her cheeks were pink, her eyes soft, a small, shy smile curving her lips as she looked up at Ryan like he had just said something funny. They were close. Not too close. Just close enough for Luca's jaw to tighten. He had walked by that girl a dozen times since she started working in the mansion. She was another uniform in the hallways, another quiet voice saying, "Good morning, sir." Another person who knew how to stay out of his way. At least, that was what he thought. Now, from the doorway, Luca saw something else. He saw Ryan leaning a little closer. He saw the way the maid's shoulders relaxed around him. He saw the warmth in her eyes when she smiled, and something sharp moved under his ribs. Luca didn't clear his throat. He didn't call their names. He just stepped inside, the air in the room changing the second his presence filled it. Ryan saw him first. "Boss," Ryan said immediately, straightening his posture. The maid's smile vanished. She straightened so fast the tray trembled in her hands. For a second, their eyes met, and Luca noticed details he had never registered before. Her hair was pulled back in a neat low ponytail, a few strands loose near her face. Her eyes were a warm hazel, big and expressive. Her lips were full, still curved from the smile she had given Ryan. She wore the Conti household maid uniform, black dress, white apron, simple black shoes. But there was something delicate and firm at the same time in the way she stood. "Mr. Conti, I'm sorry, I was just—" she began, her voice sweet and a little nervous. "You're blocking the desk," Luca cut in, not raising his voice. Her fingers tightened around the tray. "Yes, sir. I apologize." She moved a step to the side, enough to clear the way, but not fast enough to look like she was running. Ryan shot a quick look at Luca. "I asked her to bring your coffee in here," he explained. "You skipped breakfast." "I didn't ask for it," Luca replied, walking to the chair behind the desk. "That's kind of the point, boss. If we waited for you to ask, you'd forget to eat for 3 days straight." There it was, a half joke, half truth. Ryan never hesitated to tease him a bit, as long as he knew his limits. Luca sat down, the chair turning slightly as he settled into it. The dark wooden desk between him and the two of them suddenly felt smaller. He rested his forearms on the smooth surface, his black shirt stretching across his broad shoulders. "Put it down," he said to the maid, pointing with his chin toward a clear space beside some files. She stepped closer, placing the tray carefully. The sound of porcelain touching metal echoed softly through the room. Up close, her scent reached him. Something light. Soap and freshly brewed coffee. "What's your name?" Luca asked without looking away from the papers, as if it were just a routine question. "Emily, sir. Emily Carter." Emily. The name slipped into some unused corner of his mind. "Emily," he repeated, testing the sound. "Next time, knock before entering my office." "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry." "She did knock," Ryan commented, a short smile on his lips. "I opened the door." Luca lifted his gaze slowly. "Then next time, don't turn my office into your social hour, Ryan." Ryan's smile faded slightly, but not completely. "Got it." Emily took a step back, her chest rising and falling in a rhythm that revealed her nerves. "Would you like anything else, sir?" "No." "Okay." She lowered her head slightly. "Excuse me." She turned to leave, and in that movement, that simple step away, Luca noticed something that irritated him even more. Ryan watched her all the way to the door, and she looked back and smiled, small, almost automatic, but real. The door closed. Silence settled over the office. Luca picked up the cup of coffee, took a sip, and tasted the strong, well-prepared flavor. Of course it was perfect. Nothing mediocre entered the Conti house. "Good coffee," Ryan said, almost absent-mindedly. "She's quick, and she listens. The staff likes her." You doing performance reviews now? Luca replied calmly, setting the cup down. Ryan shrugged. Just saying. She's different from the others, less afraid, more, I don't know, alive. Luca didn't answer, but inside, something about that word, alive, bothered him. Emily Carter, the maid he hadn't looked at twice until now, but the Capo had, and apparently, that changed everything. The Conti mansion sat on the edge of an upscale New York neighborhood, where expensive cars were common and discreet security blended into the scenery. Inside, it was a mix of classic elegance and controlled modernity. Marble in the entrance hall, dark wood in the hallways, paintings aligned as if someone measured every inch. It was also a place where no one fully relaxed. Emily was learning that quickly. As she walked down the upstairs hallway holding the now empty tray, she could still feel the weight of Luca Conti's stare lingering in her memory. It had been intense, direct, almost too sharp for someone who had only asked her name. She turned the tray in her hands, taking a breath. "Great job not dropping anything," a familiar voice said behind her. Emily turned, a little startled, and found Mia Harper, another staff member and her only friend there. Mia wore the same uniform, but balanced it with a light expression and eyes that missed nothing. "I almost dropped it," Emily admitted softly. "He looked angry." "He always looks angry," Mia replied, falling into step beside her. "If he ever smiles, we'll call an ambulance." Emily let out a nervous laugh. "I walked in and he was already in a bad mood. You walked in and he saw you standing with Ryan. That's enough to put anyone in a mood," Mia murmured, leaning closer. "You realize Ryan basically never talks to the staff, right? Except to give orders or tease people." "He wasn't doing anything wrong," Emily said defensively without meaning to. "He just asked if I was settling in." Mia raised her brows, a mischievous smile tugging at her lips. "Oh, he asked if you were settling in. That's step one." "Step one of what?" "Ryan's guide to charming every woman within 10 miles. Emily rolled her eyes. "Stop. I'm just saying," Mia continued. "If he starts remembering how you like your coffee, it's over." Emily laughed for real this time, the sound soft in the hallway. "He doesn't even know how I like my coffee." "Yet," Mia corrected, pointing with her chin. "Come on, Mrs. Hayes will kill us if she catches us gossiping." Mrs. Hayes, the housekeeper, was strict but fair. Emily had already learned that 2 rules in that house were sacred. Don't be late, and don't talk too much. "Are you okay, though?" Mia asked gently. "He can be intense." Emily didn't need to ask who she meant. The image of Luca sitting behind his desk, his black shirt open at the top buttons, that heavy stare, flashed clearly in her mind. "I'm fine," Emily said. "I just don't think he likes me very much." Mia gave a small smile. "He doesn't like anyone very much. Don't take it personally." They walked into the kitchen, where the smell of baking bread and fresh coffee filled the air. It was warmer there, more human. Staff moved in and out, some laughing, some arguing about trivial things. Emily felt that if there was a place in that mansion where she could breathe, it was that room. Placing the empty tray on the counter, she found herself thinking again about the way Luca had repeated her name. Emily. It had been quick, short, but it kept echoing in her mind. In the office, the atmosphere was far from light. Ryan leaned against the bookshelf, arms crossed, while Luca reviewed a contract on his laptop screen. The lines of text reflected in Luca's dark eyes, but his mind was clearly elsewhere. "You know this isn't a good idea," Luca said suddenly, without looking up. Ryan blinked. "Okay, I'm going to need you to be more specific because I have a lot of bad ideas." "Flirting with staff inside the house," Luca clarified, "especially new staff. It distracts. It complicates things." Ryan exhaled slowly. "We're really doing this?" "I'm serious." "So am I." Ryan pushed himself off the shelf and approached the desk. "I wasn't flirting with her, if that's what you're worried about." "You smiled like you were," Luca retorted, finally lifting his gaze. Ryan held his stare without flinching. They had known each other for years. They'd been through far worse than an office conversation over coffee. "I smile at everyone," Ryan replied. "You know, to balance your permanent scowl." Luca didn't react. She works here. She has rules. So do you. I know, and I respect that, Ryan said, more seriously now.